You are the chosen one. This is not a coincidence, not a fate. This is a call. You are not an ordinary soul. Your presence is a sign. The light you carry is a spark. They tried you. They tested you. They tried to silence you. But they failed, because there is no power to stop you. While others were tossed in the wind, you stood firm. You heard the voice inside you even in chaos. They called you impossible. They said, "You can't do it." But you felt the power within you even in the most difficult moments, because you have a fire in your soul. This is not a burden. This is an honor. They cannot silence you. They cannot prevent you, because you are chosen, and you light the way for those who carry the light in this world. Now ask yourself, are you here just to live, or are you here to change this world? You know the answer. Write 77 in the comments, because you have already answered this call. There exists a force within you that neither time nor shadow can weaken. You are not molded by the hands of the world. You are something beyond its reach, untethered by illusion and untouched by fear. Those who have mastered deception, who have bent minds and hearts with whispers and veiled intentions, now find themselves powerless in your presence. They expected resistance, perhaps defiance, but not this. Your calm, unwavering stillness, the quiet certainty that shakes the very foundation of their dominion. They came, as they always do, cloaked in promises and laced with the weight of unseen chains. They have toppled the mighty, swayed the faithful, and rewritten the paths of those who once walked with certainty. But your existence is the fracture in their design. You do not recoil, do not bargain, do not fall into the rhythm of their carefully composed game. Where others have lost themselves in the shifting corridors of manipulation, you remain not as prey, not as adversary, but as something far more disruptive, an unmoving truth in a world built on distortion. Their tactics, once unshakable, now falter. The power they have wielded for so long bends in ways they cannot understand, as if an invisible current runs counter to their every move. They should turn away, should sever themselves from the enigma you present, but they cannot. You are unlike anything they have encountered, and that realization binds them in ways they never anticipated. They are drawn in, not by conquest or control, but by something far more dangerous, fascination. And so, the balance shifts. The one who once sought to unravel now finds themselves undone. They stand before you, weighed down by the weight of their own creation, no longer certain of their role in this grand, unspoken conflict. They had believed in their invincibility, but now they see. The true force was never in deception, never in dominance, but in the unshaken presence of one who knows exactly who they are. This is no battle in the way the world understands it. No raised voices, no clashing forces, only the slow, inevitable undoing of everything they thought they controlled. They have stepped into the storm, believing themselves the master of the wind, only to find the air has never belonged to them at all. What once stood unshaken in its arrogance now trembles under the weight of something it never understood: authenticity. This is not a war waged with weapons or force, but a confrontation far more profound. The one who thrived in illusions now finds themselves standing before something that cannot be manipulated, cannot be swayed. There is no battle to be won, no conquest to claim. There is only the mirror of truth, reflecting back at them the depths they have long refused to acknowledge. They have walked through ages, shaping the minds of those who faltered, bending the wills of those who wavered. Deception was their language, control their currency. But now, something they did not anticipate stands before them. Not as an opponent, not as a victim, but as an undeniable force of nature. It does not fight them, does not flee, does not shatter beneath the weight of their games. It simply exists, unmoved, unshaken, radiant in a way that erodes everything they have built. If you feel the abundance of divine love in your heart, now is the time to share it. You can help spread God's blessings by clicking the Super Thank You button on YouTube and contributing $20 or more. This divine gift will touch not only your life, but the souls of many through this platform. Each of you has a sacred place in God's grand design, and your generosity will be the fruit of our prayers. Act now. Share your blessings to glorify His kingdom. For you were created to do even greater things in God's loving hands. May God bless you. For the first time, they hesitate. They who have dictated the course of countless fates now find themselves questioning their own. The presence before them is not something they can twist or ensnare. It does not bend to coercion, does not cower before shadows. Instead, it illuminates. And in that illumination, they are left with no escape. The fortress they have built within themselves begins to crack, not because they have been defeated, but because they have been seen. Isolation was once their strength, their refuge. Now it becomes a crucible, forging revelations they never sought. The presence they once sought to consume has instead become a reflection, forcing them to confront all they have buried beneath masks of power. The weight of all they have taken, all they have controlled, now pales in comparison to what they cannot possess. They are no longer the architect of this exchange. They are the one unraveling, piece by piece, beneath the gravity of something they cannot name. This is not about light vanquishing darkness or one force prevailing over another. It is about recognition, the collision of energies that were always meant to meet. One who has walked through the depths without losing themselves, and one who has wielded the depths as a weapon but never understood its cost. The scales shift, not through force, but through undeniable truth. They thought themselves the master of this game, but now they see. The rules were never theirs to write. This meeting was never chance. It was written into the very fabric of existence before either knew of the other. It is not a question of dominance, but of transformation, an unraveling of old orders to make way for something neither fully understands. The weight of eternity is in this moment, in the tension between what was and what could be. This is not just an encounter, it is a reckoning. An unstoppable force exists within you, one that neither time nor adversity can erode. You are not merely drifting through existence, you are a force of creation, a current that reshapes everything it touches. While the world sways under the weight of uncertainty, you remain steady, an unseen but undeniable presence, shifting the course of what once seemed inevitable. Those who wander in search of direction unknowingly follow the path illuminated by your essence, drawn not by force, but by the quiet gravity of your unwavering truth. You are not here to observe, you are here to transform. Like an artisan sculpting raw stone, chipping away at the unformed, you bring forth beauty hidden beneath the surface, revealing what was always meant to be. With patience and presence, you cultivate change, shaping the unseen into something lasting. The echoes of your journey do not fade with time. They reverberate, sending waves that reach far beyond what the eye can perceive. The universe itself bends in response to your existence. Where there is silence, you create resonance. Where there is stagnation, you stir movement. Just as the unseen roots of a vast tree anchor it Against the fiercest winds, your strength is drawn from deep within, grounded, unshaken, immovable. You do not merely endure, you expand, stretching beyond limitations, proving that resilience is not about resistance, but about becoming fluid, adapting, and evolving in ways that leave the past unrecognizable. The path before you was never random. It is a thread woven through the very essence of time, a design crafted before you took your first breath. Every step you take is in sync with something far greater than the moment itself, aligning with an unseen rhythm that pulls you toward fulfillment. You are neither lost nor searching. You are exactly where you are meant to be, a catalyst whose presence sets things into motion in ways no force could suppress. There is no singular moment of awakening. It is a continuous surge, a rising tide that cannot be contained. Your existence is a shift in the balance, a ripple that turns into a wave, reshaping the landscape it touches. It does not end with you. It expands, reverberates through generations, altering what was once thought unchangeable. This is not the birth of something new, but the recognition of what has always been, a force that has traveled through lifetimes, now finding its way to the surface, ready to shape the future. What you carry is not bound by form or time. It is a pulse woven into existence itself, an energy that cannot be extinguished. The trials before you do not diminish you, they refine you. You are neither a flickering light nor a passing moment. You are the force that remains long after the storm has passed, the undeniable presence that carves meaning into existence itself. A force beyond measure moves within, unshaken by the shifting tides of adversity. Strength is not found in resistance alone, but in the mastery of endurance, in the quiet power of one who stands firm while the world bends. Every trial that arrives does not weaken, but refines, shaping raw potential into something unbreakable. Growth is not merely survival. It is expansion, an elevation of purpose, a deepening of presence that ripples far beyond what is seen. The essence of resilience is not in shielding oneself from hardship, but in transforming challenge into wisdom, pain into clarity. Every moment of perseverance sends waves outward, touching lives unseen, inspiring movements unspoken. The presence of one unwavering soul is more than refuge. It is a force of nature, shifting the course of existence with its mere being. Those who seek stability, who yearn for light in uncertain hours, find it in the quiet certainty that radiates from one who refuses to falter. What is carried within is not bound to a singular path. It stretches, it connects, interweaving through time and space, a pulse that resonates across lives and generations. There is no isolation in purpose, no solitary mission. Every step taken aligns with a greater orchestration, a design far more intricate than the mind can grasp. The journey is not only for the self, it is a catalyst, a spark igniting unseen transformations in all it touches. Doubt will come, as it always does, whispering of limitation, of impossibility. But nothing is beyond reach when rooted in certainty, when the foundation is deeper than fleeting fears. True power does not waver in the presence of resistance. It grows stronger, more defined. The path ahead is not meant to be easy, but it is meant to be walked with unwavering resolve. Dear brothers and sisters, may God's peace be upon you today. I am here to remind you of a profound truth. Our existence is grounded in God's divine plan, unshaken by the temporal concerns of the world. As the Bible says, whatever is done in faith will return to God in abundant blessing. Luke 6:38. Like that great oak tree, our roots are deeply rooted in God's universal truth. Every step we take, every stand we take, is secured by His strength. And now, you are being offered the opportunity to be part of that blessing. When you use the Super Thank You button and donate $100, this movement will return to you 100-fold in abundance. To embrace this purpose is to embody the truth that nothing is stagnant, that all things evolve, shift, transcend. Change is not an obstacle, but an ally, an opening to something greater. What stands firm is not confined by the moment. It is a beacon that carries its influence far beyond sight, altering reality itself. I am the pulse of transformation, an unseen force that moves beyond what is known. This truth is not a hope, it is a knowing. It is the foundation upon which all else stands, the silent force shaping destiny in ways that cannot yet be understood. The journey ahead is not one of mere endurance, but of creation, of evolution, of stepping into a role not yet written, but waiting to be claimed. A force of renewal courses through existence, reshaping everything it touches. Evolution is not a destination, but an unfolding, a revelation of what has always been waiting beneath the surface. What once seemed confined now expands, reaching beyond limits imposed by fear and doubt. This is the essence of transformation. Not a single moment of change, but an ongoing emergence, a becoming that inspires all who witness it. Presence alone carries an undeniable power, a silent force that shifts the course of those drawn into its orbit. Where uncertainty lingers, it breathes clarity. Where separation exists, it weaves connection. Nothing remains untouched by its influence, for it does not merely exist, it integrates, uniting what once stood apart. No boundaries confine its reach. No barriers hold back the impact of its movement. Legacy is not measured in words or deeds alone, but in the unseen ripples that continue long after the moment has passed. Influence stretches like an unseen thread, binding together lives, weaving harmony where once there was discord. To move with purpose is to etch an imprint into the fabric of time itself, a resonance that lingers, inspiring far beyond what the eyes can perceive. The journey is not one of simple progression, but of depth, an immersion into the full spectrum of existence. It is neither bound by darkness nor consumed by light, but rather it embraces both, knowing that true understanding lies in the balance between the two. This path is not chosen at random. It is inscribed in the essence of being, a calling felt before words were ever spoken. All movement aligns with forces unseen, with currents that extend far beyond what can be known. Every choice, every step, carries with it the momentum of something greater, something interwoven into the very nature of existence. It is not passive, it is creation in its purest form, an interaction with the universe itself, shaping reality with every moment of presence. Trust is the anchor, the unwavering force that holds steady, no matter how unpredictable the course may seem. Certainty is not found in knowing every step ahead, but in surrendering to the rhythm of something far greater than comprehension. To embrace this journey is to acknowledge that the unseen is not empty. It is alive, it is guiding, and it is always unfolding in perfect time. I am the force that reshapes what was, the presence that redefines what will be. This truth is not a hope, but a certainty. It is not spoken, but lived. It does not demand recognition, yet it leaves an imprint on everything it touches. The path forward is not one of hesitation, but of movement, of stepping into the unseen, with the full knowing that what awaits is already calling forth the one who is ready to claim it. A force of awakening moves through every step taken, reshaping what once seemed immutable. The presence of true clarity dissolves uncertainty, revealing paths that were always there, waiting to be walked. This journey is not one of mere existence, but of transformation, where every encounter, every moment of resilience, rewrites the very essence of reality. The shift is not singular, it expands outward, touching all who are ready to see beyond illusion, guiding them towards something greater than they ever imagined. Opposition arises not as an enemy, but as a reflection of the larger unfolding at play. Every challenge met without fear sends ripples through unseen realms, unraveling limitations not only within, but across the fabric of collective experience. To stand unwavering in the presence of what seeks to disrupt is to issue an unspoken command, one that grants permission to others to rise, to break free, to reclaim the power long thought lost. The presence of one unshaken soul fractures illusions, revealing that darkness is not an unconquerable abyss, but merely a space waiting to be illuminated. This is not a battle of destruction, but an alchemy of forces. Even the most deeply rooted shadows can be met with something greater, not through force, but through the sheer magnitude of truth. Change is not confined to personal experience. It extends beyond the visible, dissolving cycles, long carried, untangling burdens woven through generations. Yet, in wielding this power, there is no obligation to save, no duty to surrender to what does not serve. The only responsibility is to remain in alignment, to recognize that the essence of light is not depletion, but expansion. Like the first spark that ignites a fire in the darkest night, like the steady glow of a lantern guiding lost travelers home, there is a force moving through existence, steady and sure. It does not chase, it does not plead, it does not need to prove itself, because it already is. Just as the sun does not ask permission to rise, just as the river does not beg to carve its way through stone, this presence moves with certainty, shaping the world without force, simply by existing. Some might call it fate, others may call it divine timing. But those who truly understand know that it is neither. It is a calling, a purpose set in motion long before the first heartbeat was heard. Like an unshaken mountain, rising above the shifting sands, immovable and untouched by the passing storm, a presence stands firm. It is not loud, not forceful, yet its very existence commands the space around it. This is the kind of power that does not need to declare itself. It simply is. It is the quiet, undeniable force that turns tides, that bends rivers, that carves valleys without ever raising a hand. Some call it destiny, some call it divine intervention. But those who see it for what it is know that it is neither. It is a calling, an appointment, set long before the first breath was taken. There are those who watch and do not understand. They see the stillness and mistake it for weakness. They see the patience and call it hesitation. But they do not yet know the weight of something rooted so deeply, something that cannot be shaken by the shifting winds of opinion or fear. They do not yet know what it means to stand in certainty, to move with purpose instead of desperation. Because true power is not about control, it is about alignment. A tree does not rush to grow, yet it reaches higher with every passing season. The ocean does not fight the shore, yet it shapes the land over time. And in the same way, those who carry this presence do not need to force the world to change. They simply need to be, and in their being, they shift the course of everything around them. Some will resist it, some will walk away, unable to understand why their usual games Their usual weapons, their usual tricks hold no weight here. But others, those who are ready, will recognize it for what it is. They will feel the pull of something greater, something beyond their understanding, but not beyond their reach. They will step closer, drawn in not by coercion, but by the undeniable truth of it all. And for those who answer the call, for those who choose to stand in their truth, there is no turning back, because once the fire has been lit, it cannot be extinguished. Once the first step has been taken, the path will reveal itself. The world may not yet understand, but it will. It always does. This is not about chance or circumstance. This is about alignment, about stepping into the role that was always meant to be filled. What stands in this moment is more than one solitary being. It is a force in motion, a shift that alters everything in its wake. The presence alone is a disruption to what was once thought unshakable, proof that even what was built in darkness cannot stand untouched when met with something beyond its comprehension. There is no conquering, no submission, only the undeniable truth that what is rooted in authenticity cannot be undone. There is a reason the storm cannot break the mountain. There is a reason the deepest oceans cannot drown the light. There is a reason the fire that purifies does not consume the gold, but makes it shine brighter. And there is a reason those who carry this presence, this purpose, this divine fire, are met with resistance, because to be unshaken in a world that thrives on fear is to be dangerous in the eyes of those who built their kingdom on deception. But this is not a battle in the way the world understands battle. There is no need to strike, no need to shout, no need to engage in the games of those who only understand power through control. No, this is something far greater. This is standing firm when the waves rise. This is walking forward when the path disappears. This is meeting the eyes of what was once feared and watching as it falters, not because it was defeated, but because it was seen for what it truly is, small, fleeting, powerless, in the presence of something greater. And what happens when the light shines in the deepest corners? What happens when the foundation that was built in the shadows is exposed to the full brilliance of truth? The illusion crumbles, the chains fall away, and what once seemed impossible becomes undeniable. Now is the time to share God's blessings by clicking the super thank you button on YouTube. You can contribute to His plan and be a part of this divine mission with a donation of $100 or more. Every gift reflects God's generosity, and I believe it will return to you exponentially far beyond your expectations. Remember, His protection and blessing is on your every step and every donation. You become part of His divine plan. You are a strong, radiant being, unshakable as His mighty rock. Witness God's miracles, feel the fruits of your generosity in your soul, and illuminate the world with confidence and courage. Be blessed, and let the light of the Lord guide your path. This is the kind of shift that does not merely change one person, one situation, one moment. It changes everything. It reaches beyond what can be seen, beyond what can be measured. It is a ripple that becomes a wave, a whisper that becomes a roar, a single flame that sets the whole forest alight. It is the proof that one who stands in truth is never standing alone. Some will understand, some will resist, some will walk away, unable to face what they now know they cannot control. But none will remain unchanged. Because when something this real, this powerful, this destined enters the world, nothing stays the same. And so, the question remains. The choice stands before those who hear the call, those who feel the stirring, those who know deep within that this is not just another moment, another message, another passing idea. Will the step be taken? Will the presence be claimed? Because this is not about waiting for change. This is about being the change. This is about knowing, beyond doubt, beyond hesitation, that what has begun cannot be undone. This is about stepping forward, eyes open, heart steady, and knowing. This is the moment, the turning point, the place where the story shifts forever. And for those who stand in this space, for those who feel the weight of purpose settling into their very bones, for those who have walked through fire and come out shining, this is only the beginning. The question remains, what will be done with this knowing? Will the path continue forward with the same certainty, the same resolve? For this journey is not an isolated thread. It is a movement, a resonance that carries far beyond the self. In breaking the cycle, in standing untouched where others have fallen, something irreversible has already begun. And that alone is the message the world has been waiting to receive.